Hello and welcome to Iridium Rock and Metal Reviews. So, Eddie Van Halen passed away yesterday. So sad. Um, Unbelievable. It was a shock. I know he's been going through, treatment through throat cancer, but, I suppose when sometimes one of your idols dies like that, it doesn't matter. It just shocks you no matter what. 65 years old, way too early. I was gonna write some things down about talking about Eddie Van Halen, but there's a lot been said as well. Straight away outpourings from media and on Facebook and stuff, and I just wanted to just say a couple of words. So you know what? There's when it comes to people, when musicians pass away, it seems the word like genius becomes so easy for people to say. Once musicians pass away, he was a genius or she was a genius, a there'll never be another one like that. It's easy for those words to come out. But in Eddie Van Halen's case, it's a fact. He was a musical genius. The guitar work that this guy had done was so far ahead of its time. If you think about when that debut album came out, I hadn't heard anything like it. I'm not sure if I listened to Van Halen straight away when that debut came out in the late 70s. I'm not sure. I might have heard it really early in the 80s. But when you listen to some of that guitar work, especially when Eruption played, I thought that it was a trick of some kind. I didn't think it was a guitar. I thought there's no way anyone could play that. It was just, I thought that it was just had been in the studio and done some trick in the studio. It can't be that good. This guy can't be that good. But he was, and like I said, he was ahead of his time. And the bands that I speak about on this channel, which are mainly 80s bands, because 80s was when I grew up, and it's my favourite period of metal. How many of those bands did Eddie Van Halen, inspire? There's loads of them. There's so many. The 80s wouldn't have been what they were if it wasn't for Eddie Van Halen. And some of those albums that he was on were just amazing. Some outstanding tracks all across those albums. My favourite Van Halen era was the Roth era, probably because of when I grew up. That was, I was an 80s kid, so that was my thing. But that just goes to show as well the genius of Eddie Van Halen, where he can lose a singer like David Lee Roth, get someone else in, change the sound so much. I know there was elements of that sound coming in 1984. You could hear on that last album with Roth, there was elements of that, what was to come maybe. But then to completely get a completely different singer, and even now the arguments across social media go on and on about Roth or Hagar, Van Halen or Van Hagar, and there's so many people that accept both. I accept both. I think they're both good, but Roth was my favourite. But that just shows you the genius of Eddie Van Halen. There, he can completely change that sound, get a completely different singer, and be accepted by millions again. I mean, it was a huge hit, that the 5150 album as well. So that could have been a make or break, really. But it just goes to show the genius of Eddie Van Halen. And I don't say genius often, because I think that's a bit far-fetched sometimes, but he really was. The genius is the right word for Eddie Van Halen, without a doubt. Will be sadly missed, by a lot of musicians. You can already see the outpourings of, on the social media and that, but be sadly missed by me. And also what this does, when someone like you grew up with, listening to for years and years and years, it brings back memories of people you lost, people close to you. It does. You just can't help it. And that's what it's done to me as well. It's made me think of my dad that I lost a few years ago. And that's exactly what it does, because it is a part of memories that you have growing up, you know, and it's just so sad. It's just so sad. And obviously thoughts go out to the family. Real, you know, that was a real sad message from Wolfgang Van Halen yesterday, you know, really tear-jerking message from him. And I'm probably going to do some stuff on the channel, obviously, you know, in tribute to Van Halen, because they were one of my favourite bands, or they are one of my favourite bands. You know, I don't know what's obviously going to happen. That's just impossible to carry on without Eddie Van Halen. That's just ridiculous. That will not happen. So they were one of my favourite bands of all time. So I'm going to look at doing some stuff on the channel, you know, in tribute. One of the things I'm talking about is doing like a classic album reviews, which I was gonna do anyway, with some subscribers, talking about classic albums. That was already in the process of doing that, but obviously Van Halen would have come in at that at some point, and maybe it'll come in earlier now. So thanks for listening. I just wanted to get my little bit in to tell you my thoughts on Eddie Van Halen passing. So sad, but obviously when you say his music will live on, it will do. It will do. And a genius has left us. It's such a shame. Right, thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.